Hey everyone, I'm back. Here again with episode 6 of the Retrain Your Brain show. I been looking forward to this one because this kind of was an easy one, really, because this is all about how to do just that. When we can get past those self-defeating things, be it, as we talked about in the last episode, just simply identifying what limiting beliefs or limiting childhood trainings, or again, how we're trained in school to sit down, shut up, and do your work. Being able to retrain yourself to get away from that basically just opens up so many doors. Be that the door to financial success, because you'd like to live a little bit better than whatever your job is providing now. Be it something that you need to look at because you need to change something in you. Hi, Russell. Or, because if you know what you need to change, then that'll help your relationships, but then also tends to help your career, your relationship with everybody. To maybe you just have something that, you just got bad habits, so you simply don't go and do something. You've got the goals of, working out 3 days a week or every day or whatever that goal is, and you get it done for a week and then you peter out. And I speak from experience. But once you identify what it is you want to work on, how do you actually change it? And so, this is obviously solutions on simpler levels, things, that are on the self-help scale that don't necessarily require anyone else, but always encourage. And if you've got that person who can, be a supporter, be an accountability person, or if you can hire a coach, there's coaches for everything nowadays, not just sports. Coaches that'll help you, again, accountability, life coaches, business coaches, coaches for coaches. I've got one of those. So, don't be afraid to bring someone in. It can be someone that, it doesn't have to be something that everyone knows about. It can just be between you and that person. Just someone you don't mind being, providing that accountability, which actually often means it's a non-family member. It's usually not your spouse. There are some that are lucky enough that they can do that. But for most people, that's why you get a coach. You go and hire the trainer at a gym because it's not personal. Which actually makes most people more receptive than when it comes from a family member or a spouse or someone who's too close. Because you don't feel like, sometimes sometimes you can be more open with strangers than you can with people you know. So, anywho, getting to the meat of it, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what's called the captain and crew movement. I actually know this because it is how it's a program designed and promoted by my publisher. This is actually one of his own personal tricks on how he gets where he needs to be. Jerry Roberts, Gerry, Jerry Roberts. He is the author of the original Millionaire Mindset book. He's also the author of, Publish a Book and Grow Rich. And he is in like the top 5 or top 10 speakers in the world. He shares the stage with, Tony Robbins. We all know who that one is. He always speaks right before Tony Robbins, and just an all around, just an amazing motivational speaker. And like I said, this is why I have them as my publisher, because they excel in this realm of helping people get to their dreams. Mostly in the entrepreneur world for him, but this definitely works for it really translates to anything. So the theory behind, so the captain and crew is the theory. So the captain is your conscious thought, what you think to yourself, and your crew is your subconscious. And so throughout your life, you've basically been training your crew how to steer your boat. And if you've been training your crew one direction, it can take a bit to change the mentality of that. That's where you get subconscious, your internal dialogues. That's where that comes from. Everything can be going hunky-dory, and all of a sudden you just get really down on yourself. That's your subconscious going back to old training. Same thing, if you have this problem with, gaining wealth, for yourself, because we always are hearing, money is the root of all evil, and rich people that, and rich people this, and it's a lot negative, things you've been taught. When most of the people that right now society is defining rich just basically means they have a small business and have managed to work for themselves. People work really hard to get that, and we've turned that into a bad thing, even though, they could be the most generous people on the planet. That doesn't seem to mean much sometimes, the way society paints rich people. So it's what part of your mentality do you want to change? Do you actually want to get out and exercise every day? Do you want to, focus on controlling your temper, or, do you just have some kind of personality flaw that you'd like to improve in order to improve your relationships? Or like I said, do you want to get out of a poor mindset around money? I mean, the whole thing, it works. So coming back to what it is, so your captain is what has to dictate that to your subconscious, to your crew. So what they called it the captain and crew movement. And it's the idea that there's really kind of two ways to retrain your brain, is what they say. And that's through either an emotional upset, something that just emotionally charges you and your brain kind of shocks into a different thing. This is often comes from, something tragic, unfortunately, or without going through something highly emotional. The other thing is repetition. They always talk about, how long does it take to form a new habit? How long does it take to get out of a new habit? This can take weeks to months, depending on what it is you're working on. So the captain and crew theory basically works on that same principle of, you got to do something over and over and over and over and over and over again in order to get your crew to understand you mean it. As basically it's as if the first, few times you try to do it, your crew's going, you don't mean it. We've been trained this way for years. Let us know when you're serious. And it's like in order to be taken seriously by your subconscious crew, you just have to keep doing it. You've got to retrain your brain that your consciousness is the captain and in control, and not your crew. There's you can actually go onto YouTube and look up Captain and Crew Black Card Books, and you will find more videos on that by Jerry Roberts himself. There's a couple of good videos on there that I've watched them myself, as well as actually heard this in person. But it'll explain more about that dynamic in the brain, and that we've got so much stuff trained into us from when we were kids, and different the books we read, and everything that lives down underneath the surface. And the only way to get through to it is you have to do something repetitiously to train it. So that's where, in this case, the heart's desire list comes in. So this is all, again, part of the publisher's theory, and how they've kind of formed a way to help people with this. And so on the Heart's Desire list is intended that they call it the 90-day challenge. Do it at least for the straight 90 days, and you would write your list out and you'd actually label it day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. If you miss a day, start over. 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way until you can do it for 90 days straight. Pretty much everyone I know who's tried it has failed at least several times. I mean, 3, 4 times, and before they finally get all the way through. So you do end up doing this for much longer, but the point is to create a habit. And the point in the Heart's Desire list is meant for you to think about what you want out of life. What is it that you want? What is your goals right now? But to write it out in such a way that as if you already have it. So like, for instance, so here's mine that I write out. And I actually put a little thing on top of mine, which is, my first thoughts to myself. I am disciplined, I am strong, and I am free. So that is kind of my first credo that I keep right on the top of my list. And then for my list, mine's long. Yours can be long, yours can be short. You can make it just focus on what you want to think about for the time, or you can make it, what do you want your life to look like? Either way, I've got my things on here is, I've read the Bible twice. I've only actually gotten about a little more than halfway so far, but I'm going to write this as if I've done it. I want to read through it twice. I'll actually probably do more than that, but, making at least so I can tick off a goal and then up the ante from there, right? That's just my way. I have an e-commerce business now that I actually do have, and it's functional and it's going. I am debt-free. I'm not debt-free yet, but I'm writing it as if I am debt-free. Now, that is a major financial goal for me. And just things of that nature. I mean, it can be, I've also got on here, like, I want an ATV and the toy box and the ability to go out dune riding whenever I want. That's a lifestyle goal that I have on my list. So writing this out each day in the morning just really, it brings the focus in for the goal of what I want to do and what I want my life to look like. And if I tell my crew that consistently, hey, this is where we want to go, then my crew and therefore my body will start actually steering toward that. Meaning, instead of wanting to just spend hours playing on my phone, my brain is starting to go, wait a minute, that doesn't help us get to our goal, and therefore moves us forward. And be like, wait a minute, this is a waste of time. This isn't going to get me that ATV. This isn't going to get me that beach body. It grounds you right from the get-go. And you're much less likely to stray as you go along. It like I said, it takes time. It takes time to turn this ship that is however old you are. I mean, I'm 33. So I've been undoing 30 so years of training that I figured out it could be just done better. So that's the captain and the crew, the captain and the crew movement. It's just understanding that you got to make it so your conscious mind is the boss and that it controls the ship. And then it's just a matter of retraining your crew until it understands that as well and understands the new desire and the new direction to get your entire boat to turn. But in order to do that, again, it takes either something that's a high emotional crisis, which you want that, or you've got to find a way to suck it up and get focused and repeat over and over and over and over and over again what it is you want. And you only want this to take a couple of minutes. It doesn't need to take long. Maybe the first one's a little longer just to get it done. But after that, you're literally just rewriting it over and over and over again. And you're writing it because there is a connection in the brain between action and actually writing something down. It's like it just makes it solid. And it really will help your brain retrain that crew much, much faster. It really pays attention because it's you're thinking about it, you're visualizing it. I'll even say it out loud as I go, and then it's an auditory thing. You're touching it. And then what Jerry does from there is you keep a copy of it in your pocket. Whichever pocket that you tend to put your hands in just to relax or whatever. And then you feel it. And then again, that feeling, you don't even have to read your list, but just the feel of it reminds you of that list. And again, just brings you back to the point, to what you're working for, where you want to go, what you want to be. I definitely need stuff like this, which is why, again, why I keep a daily journal or a diary. For me, I'm thinking planner. I use planners. But my planner does have space for me to actually comment on my day, so it kind of works as a mini diary in addition to the planner for my day. I can talk about how I'm doing, how I'm feeling. So I've got a planner that's a little more than a planner, because then it's all in one place. Because time is time, time is money. And I'm trying to use the most efficient tools that I can, that I know I will use. And that's okay. If you start using a tool and you're just not into it, then if you're just not into it, then move on, find another tool. For me, mostly if I forget to do this, it's really because I've done something to self-sabotage myself. And I wanted to read, so I've started this thing here. So the Writer's Boot Camp 2. It's probably coming across backward, I realize that, but it's by Rachel Federman, and it was on sale over at Barnes & Noble. I always find amazing books on sale. I mean, this stuff here this book plus like exercise cards to go with it to kind of help me get warmed up for writing and all of that. This was like $10, and then I found some other, like a psychology book and like a, what is God's plan for your life and how to unload, how to unload and live a little more simply, and psychology book. And then there was a just kind of for fun, because I'm trying to get more into hiking and camping, there's the Ultimate Survivors book. All of this was on sale for like $7 each. It was nice. So anyway, during today's delay, because 15-minute delay was my fault, another half an hour delay was really thanks to my hubby, I did read a passage, though, that I thought would be interesting, because once you get into this thing and, you keep not doing things over and over and over again, or you start journaling, but, even just spending 5 minutes a day writing starts to elude you. I'd like to think of it this way, like, why is it that you aren't finding, 5, 10, 20 minutes a day to just focus on what you want to do or what you want to be? Is normally for most people, it's, can you wake up 10 minutes earlier to do some kind of exercise for yourself, to better yourself, to better your situation, to better your health, whatever it is. There's so many, there's 10-minute real quick body weight exercise stuff that anyone can do at home, or like these little writing boot camp to do 10-minute writing exercises, or whatever your thing is. Meditation, I'm going to keep bringing this one up because, again, repetition leads to results. People, there's the saying, if you don't have time to meditate for 20 minutes a day, that probably means you need to meditate for an hour. I agree. because, again, I can be that person. What this is saying was, you know, it can't simply be a matter of putting the diary in the same place every night so I can find it the next day. There must be a deeper reason why I continuously misplace it. So this person was keeping a diary, literally just had to write a real short few sentences every night and just wasn't. And they'd place it here and they'd place it there, and then their kid would make off with it and they'd keep losing it. And they're like, well, you know, am I not putting it in the same spot every day because I'm avoiding it? Or what is the deal? What is the block? So that's what this person's talking about. Like, you know, can it be as easy as just putting the diary in the same spot every day, presently, consciously? So anyway, the person talks about, you know, maybe there's some kind of, you know, mental block, you know, an unresolved conflict, or with the person who gave me the diary, or, you know, it makes me panic about time, thinking too far ahead, worrying about my age. So that's one thing that I thought could come up with this captain and crew, is maybe you're not doing it because you're thinking about, oh, how long will it be till I actually make this list? Is it just reminding me of the life I want and don't have? The fact is you got to remember that this is trying to train you to get away from that, to actually get there. It's not to make you feel bad. It's to actually make it real. You know, that's you've got to keep that mindset. And again, that takes repetition. Maybe it needs to be part of the list. Stay positive. This list is to help you to make your dreams a reality. As if it's just a list that just reminds you of what you don't have and then you don't do anything, yeah, you might as well quit. I mean, plain and simple. If you're not doing it and you're not making anything happen, then you're not actually retraining your crew, and you're just garbling off into empty space, you know? So, you know, again, counting up to 90 days, you know, can make you think about how fast the days are passing, and again, get yourself down that you haven't done as much as you would have liked to have done, and make you aware of unmet goals. Like, all of these are things that could cross your mind. You just have to stick to it, and you gotta remember, doing an exercise like this, like doing the 90-day challenge, heart desires list, you got to remember, it's just there to inspire you. We've got to keep it positive. But you're going to have these days. It's going to happen. I've had plenty of them. I'm, like I said, speaking from experience on this. You know, do you overthink a pattern of behavior, assign it too much meaning? Sometimes we lie in bed thinking about why we're doing something. The Calm app I can use for free, which is one of the meditations app. Last night, like, I couldn't hardly sleep. I had so many plans going through my head. So I ended up putting that app on, and for free, you get one of the sleep stories on the free version. It's the same one, but I've never heard that much. Hi. I've never heard that much of that sleep story. It took me so long to just relax and fall asleep, which is why, again, meditation is one of my tools to keep moving, really. Slow down in order to keep moving. You know, we become intrigued by these thoughts, like, why are we doing something? You know, does this trace back to something from childhood, some rational or irrational fear? We puzzle it out. Every journey begins with this problem, and we think it must be a key to self-awareness. Discuss it with friends, or try to. It grows tiresome. So one morning, they decided to keep the diary in the same place every day. Basically to kind of avoid this blockage of, oh, I can't find it, I'm going to bed. You know, to see if it works. They didn't think it would. Like, really, would it make that big of a difference if they left their diary in one spot every day? And it did. It worked. They've written it almost every day since they just left their diary in one spot and kind of removed the Excuses. You know, I used to talk about that a lot when working with contractors. Sometimes I would ask dumb questions, even when I knew the answer, simply to remove their excuses. You know, they just felt strongly that I had to ask the client about something. Like, fine, I'll ask. I know what the answer is, but I'll ask in order to remove your excuse. You gotta do the same thing with yourself sometimes. Figure out what your excuses are and see what you can do about them. So that was what I wanted to share today. And kind of on this same topic, I was actually going to do one topic on Monday, but I've decided against it, and actually that this would tie into really next week focusing in on morning routines. This can help you night owls who just hate mornings. It can help even the morning people kind of tone down and be a little more focused in the morning, which I think the night owl people who are, or non-morning people, I should say, might appreciate. But this kind of comes into developing a morning routine to remove the excuses, give yourself some time to be with yourself, think about where you want to go, where you want to be, and be able to plan that time, you know, wisely, to get you where you need to go. So I hope you enjoyed this video today, or will. As always, please post comments, suggestions, the good, the bad, the ugly, and I will address whatever is worth addressing. I don't really deal with, if someone's just kind of insane, I won't deal with that. But luckily, I haven't had to deal with that yet. So far so good. It's coming though. I know it will. It's kind of a sign that you're doing your job right, and this kind of a thing when you find the people who don't like what you're doing. So, you know, let me know what you're curious about, but I think next week we'll be fairly certain we'll be talking about morning routines, because, you know, I talk to people who are like, yay, I love working from home, I can work in my pajamas. Well, part of my thing is I still do get ready. I get dressed up. If I know I'm going to do a show, I'll put some makeup on, because getting dressed, and it goes back to that feeling of like, my body knows when I get dressed, I'm ready to go, I'm looking nice, it's time to go to work. So, you know, it is part of latent training, but it's training I'm okay with, because it puts me in the right mindset. It's, you know, they talk about like putting your gym clothes on and going to a gym. It tells your body, hey, it's time to do physical work, like, and you actually tend to function a little bit better. So setting and how you are yourself, how you're dressed, or, you know, what you're prepared for, does actually send signals to your subconscious and your body. This is what we're doing now. So this is where a morning routine can be really critical to helping to increase your discipline, if you have trouble with it to begin with, and especially for those who work from home or have more of a lax schedule and can just kind of do whatever they need to do and whenever. Since my schedule is pretty much, well, my schedule, I find a couple of these things to be very, very helpful for myself. So I hope that's something to look forward to for Monday's show. Take care and have a great afternoon, everyone. Happy Friday. Bye.